Welcome back to my office. If you went over to my bookcase and started pulling down primary sources on ethics, you'd find John Stuart Mill, Plato, Aristotle, Rousseau, Kant, many outstanding philosophers. And if this were a philosophy course on ethics, we could spend the whole course reading what these philosophers had to say about ethics and talking about their theories and figuring out the strengths and weaknesses of each. But this isn't a philosophy course. This is a course for computer scientists and software engineers, and it's really an applied ethics course. So what we need to do is learn enough about what these authors have to say that we can use their ideas in evaluating moral situations. But we're going to have to do it rather quickly. And so what I have done in chapter 2 is taken a whole lot of ideas from these authors and more and cooked them down into about 50 pages. And what that means is that there are a lot of subtleties that are going to be lost. And so when I take John Stuart Mill and try to cook utilitarianism down to a few pages, I'm not going to be able to pick up all the nuances and really do the theory justice. And the same with Kantianism, virtue ethics, and of these other theories. And so that's the first thing you have to appreciate when you're reading the chapter, is that you are going to be getting a highly condensed version, and there are a lot of ideas that, a lot of subtleties that aren't going to be expressed. But I think that you can walk away with the gist of the theories and understand how to use them in evaluating moral arguments. A question you might ask is, why ethics anyway? Why do we even worry about ethics? Why is ethics important? And I think the shortest answer is that we live in societies. We live with other people. And societies aren't going to work if everybody's acting selfishly. Or maybe put another way, we derive benefits from our social living. Living in communities provides us with benefits that we wouldn't get if we were out on our own. But in return for those benefits are certain obligations. We have certain responsibilities toward other people. And so that's really the foundation for why we need to be thinking about ethics. So as you work into the chapter, you're going to discover that I'm talking about 9 different theories. And so I want to clue you in to the fact that the first 4 theories that are covered in the chapter, so this would be sections 2.2 through 2.6, those 4 theories end up getting tossed out. So we end up deciding that they're not going to be workable theories, they're not going to be a strong foundation for making an argument that will persuade a diverse, skeptical yet open-minded audience. And so they are really of secondary importance to the theories that appear in sections 2.6 through 2.10. The reason I include those unworkable theories is because a lot of ethical or so-called ethical arguments you hear in daily life are based on one of these philosophies of relativism or ethical egoism or divine command theory. And so I think it's important that you be familiar with these theories so that when you hear an argument based on one of those theories, you can understand that maybe that argument isn't on the strongest foundation. But when it comes time to pick up theories and use them for later in the course, it's really going to be the 5 theories starting in section 2.6. So we have Kantianism, act utilitarianism, rule utilitarianism, social contract theory, and virtue ethics. And those are the theories that we are going to need to pay the most attention to, because they are going to be the toolkit that we carry with us through the rest of the course as we start evaluating case studies relating to information technology. Because the material in chapter 2 is rather dense, you should give yourself plenty of time to work your way through it. The differences between some of the theories are rather subtle, And so you may have to read certain sections a couple of times before you really understand them. And to help you know whether or not you have these theories down, there's an online exercise coming up after you've read this chapter. It's an ungraded exercise, but what it will ask you to do is construct arguments based on Kantianism or utilitarianism or social contract theory or virtue ethics. And so if you can successfully construct these theories, then you will have confidence that you can move forward because you understand how they work. If you're having a hard time completing the exercise, that's a clue that you need to go back into the chapter and study the theories a little bit more. Good luck.